This is CCS-TV, empowering voices, inspiring futures.
Building your child's financial future starts earlier than you think, and it starts with Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union. With the Kids Credit Union, families can take simple, achievable steps today that lead to big outcomes tomorrow. We believe small, consistent saving habits build confidence, responsibility, and lifelong financial stability. Your child could graduate with up to $10,000 to kickstart their future. We're more than a bank. We're a long-term partner in your child's life. Stop by your local branch today and let's start their journey together.
Welcome back on CCS Sportscast. I am your host, Sebby Gibbs, and we are joined by Maddy Glab, Bills team reporter, on this podcast. This is kind of our pre-draft special now. So, Maddy, is team reporter your official name working for the Bills?
Yep, that's what I go by, working for the Bills.
Okay. So, and how long have you been the Bills team reporter?
I am finishing up my 7th season. I started in 2019, and next year marks year 8 for me. Never thought I'd be here this long, but yeah. Josh Allen is a fabulous quarterback, best in the league, and so you stick around when the Bills keep winning games.
Yeah, very relevant right now. So, in total, what has been your favorite move the Bills have made throughout the season, and why?
Ooh, that's really tough. There have been some really good ones and some maybe lesser ones that people won't talk about as much, but I think will be impact players on this team. But big names, I have to say that DJ Moore and Bradley Chubb were my 2 favorite moves. It was really cool to see those names tied to a team like the Bills, a team that is peaking at the right time and trying to get to that Super Bowl. And I think Moore and Chubb will definitely add to the group. You know, you have a new defensive coordinator in Jim Leonard, and Bradley Chubb is used to playing in a 3-4 defense, and that's what he excels at in. So I'm excited to see how they used him as a different piece on the defensive line. And DJ Moore, the Bills traded a 2nd-round pick for Moore, and we spoke with Joe Brady and Brandon Beane today, and Brady said, and Bean did as well, you know, that's our 2nd-round pick. That's who I have to think of as our 2nd-round pick. And man, Moore has been very productive so far in the NFL, shows up in big-time moments, and has that tie to Joe Brady, and had career highs when those two were on the same team. So I'm really excited to see what Moore can do with Josh Allen throwing him the ball.
Yeah, so I think as well, Bradley Chubb will be very impactful on the D. Jim Leonard, different look, but I think someone who's familiar with that type of defense will definitely impact. So out of those moves, what move do you think will benefit them most in the long run?
It's hard to tell. It'll be interesting because, you know, Moore is on a little bit longer of a contract with the Bills compared to Bradley Chubb, but you never know. Like, Chubb could have a great season and the Bills decide to extend him to a longer deal. And the Bills are a team who they're known to do these 1 to 2 year deals with players in free agency because they want to see what you can do. They want to have them prove it and then see if, hey, are you a good fit for this team long term? If I'm thinking long term, I'm thinking more DJ Moore right now because of what he's given the Chicago Bears and because of what hopefully he can do with the Bills.
I agree with DJ Moore. DJ Moore also, he's getting there, but he's still a younger wide receiver. And I think, with Josh Allen, you can definitely use another receiver. So do you think the Bills still have connection with, players like Joey Bosa, Shaq Thompson, A.J. Epenesa that make it seem like a re-signing is still possible for the Bills and they won't just lean on the draft for those heavy positions that they need?
I think the Bills do their due diligence of keeping in touch with former players that are now free agents. Obviously, if you felt like that player did a good job in years prior with the Bills, you want to keep that relationship going. And what Brandon Beane has done a lot of the times in the past is he wants these players to test the market and see what they're worth on the free agency market. And if they can get a better deal with a different team, sometimes Bean wants them to, go earn that more money with that different team. Or sometimes you learn maybe a player is willing to take less money to play for the Bills because they just love the environment, they love the culture. I think right now where we sit Monday before the draft, a lot of teams are waiting to see what happens in the draft until they decide, do we want to re-sign some of these players? Do we want to sign some of these players back to the roster? But you're waiting to see what needs, what holes are filled in the NFL draft before we move forward with players still available in the free agent market.
For sure. So off of those losses and the Bills' needs right now, what position do you think the Bills are going to target first round in this upcoming draft?
I have no idea what they're going to do. I can only talk about what I feel like makes sense for Buffalo, since I'm not in those draft meetings and I'm not on coaching staff. But looking at a lot of mock drafts, it seems like, at least at this point, after the DJ Moore trade, a lot of mock drafts have us selecting a defensive player, specifically an edge rusher. And I just feel like where the Bills are right now at number 26 in the first round, they're going to be waiting for a lot of teams to make their picks. And it seems like there's just going to be better value in terms of edge rushers at that point. This is known as being an edge rusher heavy draft class. So you might still have some good value with edge rushers still available at number 26. That's a premier position in the NFL. And if you can hit on it, that's amazing, because it costs a lot of money to pay for a talented edge rusher on the free agency market. If you can get a rookie and develop him and have that rookie turn into a difference maker, you're saving a lot of money there. So that's where I lean. But who the heck knows what's going to happen? It's going to be really fun to see what they do on draft night.
For sure. I've seen mocks, even going wide receiver, trading up for wide receivers. It's very, we're in the mix. Safety, linebacker, DN, defensive interior, wide receiver. There's lots of things I could see the Bills going. But do you think the Bills should go edge rusher, or do you think they are better off waiting and seeing if they can go and get back like Joey Bosa or AJ Epinesa or someone like that?
I think you act as if they're not on your team right now, and you draft as if they're not on your team right now, because I don't think the Bills or Brandon Beane wants to play the what if game. So if it's not set in stone, once the draft begins at 8 p.m. on Thursday night, that one of these players is returning back to the roster, I think you act as if this is a hole we need to fill. And because this draft class is known for the edge rushers, with it being a draft class that also a lot of people aren't crazy excited about what's in the bottom of the first round because of the fact that there's less blue chip players, I want to go after the draft class or the draft position that is being talked about a lot, and that's edge rushers. I think there's going to be some really good talent that you can find in the bottom of the first round and into the second and third rounds.
Is there any edge rushers that you think would fit the Bills? Do you have any favorite prospects or no?
That is a very good question. I've done some homework on some of these prospects that are available, and it's hard to not love a guy like Cassius Howell from Texas A&M. I know he has shorter arms, but he does a lot of damage when it comes to getting after the quarterback. He has some really good bend compared to other edge rushers in this draft class. That's important to be able to bend to get around the corner, to get to the quarterback quicker. Another player that I think has a really quick first step that I've enjoyed watching his tape is Malachi Lawrence out of UCF. I think he has a very quick first step and is powerful getting to the quarterback. Not as much bend as a Cassius Howell, but still has some athletic traits. So I would say those are two that are near the top of my list. But it's really hard because there are some great edge rushers. One guy that might not be a first round pick, but might go in the second round that I've really liked watching his film, I feel like he has some really raw traits, is edge rusher Gabe Akis out of Illinois. He had 11 sacks last season and is just big and powerful. Might not have the technique that a Cassius Howell has, but I think if you're looking at the traits, they're there, and you just have to pair a player like that with a really talented coaching staff. And I think when you do that, you can really see people grow in their experience and grow into becoming a really important player for that team. So those are a few names that I've watched that I enjoy. I've watched so many different edge rushers at this point because I feel like the Bills keep getting mocked edge rushers. So I'm like, I want to watch all of these guys. Those are a few names that stand out right now to me.
Yep. So we are going to go to a quick break. Coming back, we have a couple more questions for you. So we'll see you guys on the second segment of CCS Sportscast.
Jamestown, New York is where innovation meets sustainable growth, fostering a vibrant community of creative, dedicated people who truly love where they live. It's a place where you can build a fulfilling life with excellent schools, quality healthcare, and a cost of living that supports your ideal lifestyle. Blending small-town charm with easy access to big city amenities, Jamestown is the perfect place to live, work, and raise a family. Jamestown, New York, the pearl of opportunity and balance.
In Lakewood, life moves with the rhythm of the lake. Morning coffee with friends, afternoons on the tennis courts, evenings filled with music and laughter. From pickleball rallies to family sailing, from local shops to the farmer's market, Lakewood is where moments turn into memories. This is community. This is connection. This is Lakewood, New York, where good times live.
Looking for a place where business thrives, nature surrounds you, and life doesn't come with a big city price tag? Welcome to Chautauqua County, where opportunity meets affordability. Build your career, grow your family, and enjoy the outdoors, all in one incredible place. Chautauqua County is open for business, for fun, for life. To learn more about the boundless opportunities Chautauqua has to offer, visit livechq.org.
Looking to feed the family, the whole team, or just your own hungry self? Honest John's is you covered. We're talking fresh-made subs, crispy wings, and pizza so good you might just start happy dancing. Trust Honest John's for takeout, delivery, and easy online ordering so you can get the goods without lifting more than a finger. Or stop in for our famous all-you-can-eat pizza buffet. From crispy wings to cheesy pies, Honest John's satisfies. Order now at honestjohns.pizza.
Welcome back to CCS Sportscast. We are again joined by Maddy Glab. And the first question of this segment, do you expect the Bills to be targeting a wide receiver at all this draft? I know they've had a meeting, or they were present at Jordan Tyson's pro day. They've been in talks with like Casey Concepcione, Denzel Boston. Do you think they might lean towards wide receiver at some point in this draft?
We'll see. I don't know if I would say I expect them to do that. It'll depend on how the draft board falls and how they have this wide receiver class graded. I do think there are some good options that they can find in the first 4 rounds of this NFL draft that could fit different types of options depending on what they're looking for. Are you looking for somebody who is a go-getter, somebody who is a complete difference maker, somebody who racked up numbers on the stat sheet like a Jordan Tyson?
Yeah.
He might not be available at number 26. You might have to go trade up to get him. But are you looking for more of a wide receiver who can also be a special teamer, who has punt return experience? You'll be able to find some of those players later in the draft. So it really depends on what they're looking at. Are you looking for a bigger wide receiver who can be used on the outside? Are you valuing speed? It would be fun for them to go wide receiver somewhere within the 7 picks that they have right now in the NFL draft, because why not give Josh Allen more weapons and more players to use to help him move the ball down the field and score more points? I think, of course, you would want to do that, but the value has to be there, and it has to be somebody that you think would fit on this roster.
So do you think that like the Bills being in these talks, or like being present at these pro days, do you think, Keon Coleman's like he's kind of like, I wouldn't say a problem, but it's happening right now in the Bills offense where Keon Coleman off to a kind of rough start to his NFL career. Do you think them talking to these wide receivers is more because they don't trust Keon, or like they want to challenge Keon and want Keon at his greatest?
I don't think it has to do with Keon Coleman in the season he had last year at all. I think you're always trying to add different weapons to your roster. And you know that year after year, you know, the people that are currently on your roster, they get older and they grow, and maybe they're going to cost more money to keep them on your roster. And can you afford that? Joe Brady talked about Keon Coleman today to us, and that said that Keon Coleman has been moving great and that he's been performing well so far in off-season workouts and the start of voluntary veteran minicamp. So I'm really excited to see what Coleman can do for the Bills this upcoming season. He was the talk of the town during training camp last year. He was the guy in terms of offense, in terms of playmakers. So I hope he can be that again throughout this offseason, and that can kind of go into the upcoming season as well come September when we start playing games. But I think you do your due diligence of learning about so many different players in this draft class, whether it's a Jordan Tyson who might be off the board at pick 15, or whether it's an Alabama wide receiver in Jeremy Bernard who's not going to be a day one pick but can still add value to a roster. I think it's your job as an NFL scout to do the homework on as many players as possible, even players that it might be a really slim chance that they fall to you at number 26, but you're going to learn about them anyways because maybe they're worth moving for, trading up for at some point in the draft.
So I agree with you. I think Keon is going to turn it around for sure. I think, you know, in this everybody eats offense, it's going to stay very similar with Joe Brady. I mean, I think you're just adding on to it. Pete Carmichael at the OC. I think Keon's going to fit right in to this kind of, staying in this offense, but I think he's going to fit right in with these new players that we acquired in DJ Moore and Josh Allen, you know. But I think he will have a better year getting mentored by Stevie there. So could you see the Bills maybe trading the first-round pick into 2-day 2 picks, or going back to maybe go get a linebacker and an edge and fill in more positions than they would at round 1?
I mean, it's something that we've been talking about for the last several peaks. What is the best draft strategy this year? Are you happy with the 7 picks that you have? Do you feel like you want to move back and pick up more picks because you want to throw more darts at the dartboard, whether it be at that offensively or defensively? Do you feel like you want to give Jim Leonard more pieces to work with, more players to mold, knowing that this is a new defense? So maybe you want some younger players who can really, you can teach and really learn, and they can absorb this new system. Or are you happy with 26 and you feel like somebody's going to be available that's going to work for your team? The other part of this equation is maybe the Bills are interested in grabbing some more picks and getting a second-round pick, which they don't have at this moment. You have to find a team that's willing to trade back into the first round at 26. And like I said earlier, this is a draft that a lot of people have said is on the lower end of first-round graded players. So maybe it's going to be hard to find a team that wants to trade back up into the first round in a draft where there's not as many first-round players. So that's another big part of the equation as well.
Yeah, so do you think that you talked about how you think the Bills will probably, well, in your opinion, you think their best bet is going edge, but do you think it influences them that rivals like the Bengals and the Ravens picking up Dexter Lawrence and Trey Hendrickson, do you think that influences them more to go upgrade their D-line and have another edge rusher to pair with Greg Rousseau?
I think it's something you're aware of. You're always aware of what other teams are doing, especially teams in your division and in your conference. You want to know what type of players you're going to play against in the upcoming season. But I don't think the Bills make decisions solely on what another team is doing, right? You focus on your team first. You focus on what your needs are. You focus on what will make your team better. You're not saying, oh, well, the Cincinnati Bengals just traded for Dexter Lawrence, so we have to do something like that, or we have to find a way to combat Dexter Lawrence. I don't think that's how you operate. I think you're aware of it and you focus on your team first.
So, last question here. The Bills, they're going into this next year with like lots of new scenery. I mean, new head coach and Joe Brady, even a new stadium. So, do you think, does this make you more confident or less confident about the Bills going into this next season?
I'm always confident about the Bills with a quarterback like Josh Allen. He has shown time and time again. When you think there's no hope in a game, just wait for Josh Allen to turn it up another notch, because he can take something that seems doubtful into something that seems like a sure thing in just a quarter. So I'm always excited about what's upcoming for Buffalo and feel confident in what they're going to do with a new stadium, with a new head coach, with a new defense, because of the fact that they have their quarterback. And they have a lot of important returning pieces, right? Like, you have Khalil Shakir coming back to the roster, who is an impact player. You have James Cook, who led the NFL in rushing yards. You have the entire offensive line back, aside from David Edwards, who will be missed a lot, but you have a lot of important pieces there. You have some defensive players. You have guys getting healthy on defense. You have Cole Bishop coming back, who had a really good end to last season. So I think there's a lot to be excited about, and I think people who may doubt the team right now because of the question marks, I think will be surprised once they start playing in September.
So thank you so much, Maddy, for coming on, taking time to be on here with us. Very excited for the draft, and I hope a great rest of your day. And we will see you guys on the third segment of CCS Sportscast.
Thank you. Nice to talk with you.
Looking for a place where business thrives, nature surrounds you, and life doesn't come with a big city price tag? Welcome to Chautauqua County, where opportunity meets affordability. Build your career, grow your family, and enjoy the outdoors, all in one incredible place. Chautauqua County is open for business, for fun, for life. To learn more about the boundless opportunities Chautauqua has to offer, visit livechq.org.
Looking for something special, something you won't find anywhere else? That's Gift Boutique is downtown Jamestown's destination for ready-to-go gifts, gorgeous home and garden decor, and all those perfect little finds you didn't know you needed. Just steps away from all your favorite spots, make Dots on 3rd Street your next stop downtown. Dots Gift Boutique. You'll find just what you're looking for.
Life moves fast, but the moments that matter slow us down. School runs, weekend games, road trips you'll never forget. It's all about getting there safely, comfortably, and together. At Schultz Chevy, we're here to help you find a vehicle that fits your family with space, reliability, and peace of mind you can count on. At Schultz Chevy, built on trust, driven by family.
From our lot to your driveway, we reach at Schultz Chevy, where every deal feels like a win.
Final segment of this week's CCS Sportscast, recapping this draft. And we got to go quick because we had a 20-minute interview with Maddy Glab. Great interview there. It was probably our best one yet. Great to talk to her. But we have our last mock draft. Draft is this Thursday. So we are doing our final mock draft. First pick, Raiders select Fernando Mendoza. That's been a gimme this entire time. Second pick, I think the Jets are going to select edge Arvell Reese. The third pick, David Bailey, Texas Tech edge, going to the Cardinals. They did say that they might be interested in Love at 3. It's interesting, though, because they have James Conner. So, next, number 4, the Tennessee Titans select Jeremiah Love. 5, Carnell Tate going to the Giants, who they trade away Dexter Lawrence for the 10th pick. So, they're coming around at 10, too. 6th pick, Francis McGowan going to the Browns. 7th pick, Washington Commanders select Caleb Downs. 8th pick, Saints select Makai Lemon. 9th pick, Chiefs go with Ruben Bain Jr. 10th pick, I think the Giants are going to go grab Sonny Styles at 10. 11th pick, Mansour Lane going to the Dolphins. 12th pick, Jermon McCoy going to the Cowboys at 12. LA Rams selecting Monroe Freeling at 13. 14, Baltimore Ravens select C.J. Allen. 15, Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon, going to the Buccaneers. 16, Avion Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson, going to the Jets. Spencer Fano, tackle out of Utah, going to the Lions at 17. Number 18, Dylan Thieneman, going safety out of Oregon, going to the Minnesota Vikings. Number 19, Carolina Panthers select Jordan Tyson, Arizona State, wide receiver. 20, Caden McDonald, defensive interior out of Ohio State, going to the Cowboys. 21, Penn State guard Oliva Vega Ione, going to the Steelers. 22, Chargers select Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety. 23, Akeem Messidor, edge, going to Miami, or going not from Miami, going to Philly. Number 24, Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver out of Indiana, going to the Browns. 25, Chicago, Kendrick Falk, edge out of Auburn. 26, Caleb Banks, defensive interior, going to Florida. They find their nose. Or going to Buffalo. I keep on doing that. Caden Proctor, tackle out of Alabama, going to the 49ers. Blake Miller, tackle, going to the Texans. Chiefs select KC Concepcione. 30, the Dolphins select Denzel Boston. Peter Woods, defensive interior out of Clemson, going to the Patriots. And Jadarian Price, number 32, running back, going to Seattle. I do have a quick list of players that I would like the Bills to target, my favorite prospects in this draft. I can just list them out real quick. Where are these? Oh, here they are. Linebacker Jacob Rodriguez, defensive interior Caleb Banks and Caden McDonald, linebacker C.J. Allen, and then wide receiver Jordan Tyson. And then in the late rounds, wide receiver Skylar Bell. I think he is a great prospect in late round value, great late round value. He's a Khalil Shakir type slot player. I think Khalil Shakir would be great as a mentor for him. Well, Khalil Shakir is still young, but I think, can have as many weapons as you want in this Buffalo offense. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. We're going to the draft, so we're going to try to get some stuff up on the Facebook page from the draft, try to get us after the picks, and that's our cue. We'll see you guys next time after the draft. See you guys next time on CCS Sportscast.
Looking to feed the family, the whole team, or just your own hungry self? Honest John's has you covered. We're talking fresh-made subs, crispy wings, and pizza so good you might just start happy dancing. Trust Honest John's for takeout, delivery, and easy online ordering so you can get the goods without lifting more than a finger. Or stop in for our famous all-you-can-eat pizza buffet. From crispy wings to cheesy pies, Honest John's satisfies. Order now at honestjohns.pizza. Looking to feed the family, the whole team, or just your own hungry self? Honest John's has you covered. We're talking fresh-made subs, crispy wings, and pizza so good you might just start happy dancing. Trust Honest John's for takeout, delivery, and easy online ordering so you can get the goods without lifting more than a finger. Or stop in for our famous all-you-can-eat pizza buffet. From crispy wings to cheesy pies, Honest John's satisfies. Order now at honestjohns.pizza.
Welcome to Lakewood, New York, where community and adventure meet by the water's edge. Stroll our farmers market, sip something special at bag and string wine merchants, and discover local shops that feel like home. From sailing and pickleball to concerts in the park, every season brings a reason to gather. Lakewood isn't just a destination, it's a way of life. Discover it for yourself. Lakewood, where good times live.